You asked why we're doing this, and the answer is I'm a historian, and I many years ago even used to do this quite a bit with people, tape them to get it on the record, because we should have these kinds of records out there from the background. Otherwise, there's no record. Of course, it's called oral history. Oral history means it's not with documents; it's what you remember. So obviously, we're going to cover not only you, but Fremont Chess Club, Cal Chess, whatever, background, because you've been around it quite a while. But as usual, you were born in 1934?
No, 1932.
32?
Yeah.
You're that old?
Yeah.
1932.
73 at the
73.
moment.
And you just had a birthday, making you 73.
Yeah.
The end of August.
Uh-huh.
And you were born in Poland.
Yeah, which was Germany at that time.
It was Germany at that time.
Yeah.
And at what age did you move to, or were you forced out of that part of Germany?
Because of the unemployment situation at that time, my father had to relocate to close to Berlin. Close to Berlin.
What did your father do as a living, for his living?
From his occupation was a baker.
He was a baker.
Yeah, but he also worked in agriculture in a small village and stuff like that.
When you were in the Polish part of, or what was Germany?
No, he came from. I don't know from Pomerania or whatever.
Pomerania, yeah.
Yeah, he came from that area of Germany.
And your mom, did she work?
My mother did not work. No, she had to take care of the kids all the time.
How many kids in the family?
We had 4 children total. I'm the oldest one, and then my 2 years younger brother, he is already dead. By now he had a blood clot. He died. He was a mailman in Berlin.
How long ago?
Oh, about 12 years ago or so, something like that. Yeah, my sister, she's still living in Berlin. She's again 2 years younger than my other brother, and then I have a late brother who lives close to Salzburg on the German side.
Do any of them play chess, or did any of them play chess?
I played chess with my brother when I first started to play chess. My father had bought me a little peg set, and we played chess as good as we could there, and then.
Did your father teach you how to play?
No, my father didn't know how to play, but
really?
there was
He bought you the set?
He bought me the set, and there was a person, and one of his friends in the little village, he knew how to play chess, and he taught me the rules, and then we just played.
And I can imagine, what you didn't know about the rules at that time. Did you beat your brother?
Well, I don't remember that.
Or are you blocking it?
I don't remember the first parts there. I just knew the rules were pretty clear to me. It didn't take long to know the rules. I think I was smart enough to learn it fast enough.
Well, let's go back to the history. We'll come back to chess. I know that you were a police officer in Berlin.
Yeah.
Did you have any jobs before you became a police officer?
Yeah, I was a cabinet maker.
Oh, before you became a police officer?
Yeah, I was a cabinet maker. I learned in a small village where I learned chess, but for 1.5 years, and then my father went to Berlin because of the situation, West Berlin, and there I continued my apprenticeship, and I became a journeyman, cabinet maker, and then I worked about half a year as a journeyman, and then there were no jobs suddenly. and the police was forming a new force there, so I joined the police.
How old were you when you joined the police?
It must have been about 19 years or so. Yeah, about 19 years.
So you started doing your internship or apprenticeship as a cabinet maker about 14, 15, what age?
At about 15, yeah.
Did you...
yeah, about 15.
Did you stop going to public school at that time?
Yeah, there wasn't much of public school going on at the time in the first place, because the end of the war was, we were in transition there, and my father needed me on the farm, so he got me excused. He got me excused from school. But then I went back to school as a cabinet maker at trade school, and at the Berlin police force they gave us some extra lessons there.
Now, you in cabinet making? Or
No.
different kind of lessons? For police work?
Not for police work only. I went to police academy afterwards, but just general education, like how to compose a letter.
Oh, further education?
Yeah,
Oh,
further,
okay.
yeah, just...
writing letters?
Yeah, and regular, history and geography, everything. Yeah.
So it was not just, how to shoot the bad guys.
No. That was... We hardly had to shoot there anybody, because at that time everybody was behaving very well in Germany.
Days, huh?
Yeah.
You carried a weapon though, right?
Yeah.
You went through firearms training?
I mean, I started out in a police unit where we even had bazookas and also chainsaws for emergency service. Like if we had an emergency like now, we would have been called with our rubber raft and and ropes, and we could have made emergency bridges.
Which part of Berlin were you in? The American sector, the French, the British, the Russian?
I didn't notice much difference at that time. That was all West Berlin, and that was it.
And that was it. Well, let's see, 1949, they were sort of united. So
I think it was my...
Yeah, you would have been, it would have been after 49. Yeah, so it was been,
I went in,
united.
I was living in several sectors there, but we never noticed anything different there. It was all alike. So
now you ran track with the police?
Yeah, at that time I got involved in track and field. I did everything.
What was your favorite event? For you to participate?
I tried everything, but I wasn't any good in any.
But you ran the 400?
400 I ran, yeah. I ran 100 or 400, 3,000 steeplechase,
huh?
5,000.
You did the steeplechase?
Yeah.
Ran into the water?
Yeah.
Did you throw a discus or a shot put or anything?
I did everything, because there was this German discipline they called for the medal. You had to make a sports medal, okay, and there were several disciplines that you have to fulfill, including swimming and anything. There were substitute disciplines there, so I made the silver medal. I went back to Germany after I was here in the United States. Wanted to make the gold medal.
Oh, really?
But I didn't run fast enough anymore. Couldn't make it.
And when did you come to the U.S.?
In 1960.
Were you married at that time?
Yeah.
What year did you get married?
1958.
1950. So it was 2 years after you got married.
Yeah.
And your children were born here?
No, my oldest daughter is born in Germany, 1959, and my younger daughter is born here. I had to hurry because she was on the way.
So she was born, your wife was pregnant when you came?
Yeah.
Why did you come to the States?
My uncle was visiting, and he described how living standards were here, and at that time I decided that I didn't like police work anymore, and I wanted to improve my situation.
Were you sponsored by your uncle? Is that how you got here?
His son, he was working at Lockheed as an engineer. he was sponsoring us. Yeah.
And your first job in the States?
Was cabinet maker right away. Yeah.
The one in San Francisco?
Yeah.
You want to tell us about the yo-yo?
Well, our firm was a very old established cabinet shop and also a what do you call this, where they turn wood turner business. I don't know how. Anyway, we were wood turners and cabinet makers there, and very old established shop in San Francisco. And there was a person who wanted to develop a yo-yo, the no jive yo-yo, and he tested the little yo-yos.
I'm sorry, what'd you call it?
No jive.
No jive?
Yeah, no jive.
J-I-V-E?
Why, I think, jive. When the yo-yos, when they turn sideways, you know, they jive.
They jive?
They jive, you know. They
Okay.
when they don't perform, they.
Up and down they go to the
That
side.
was a no jive. It was something special. You could take it apart and then rewind the axle because it was all possible to take it apart, you know. Well, anyway, no jive yo-yo, and we made a promotion, a big one. It was in the Guinness Book of World Records.
And you dropped it off a goods bridge?
No, it was first yo-yoed at the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, and it fell in the water there because malfunction of the rope. It burned through and it slipped into the water.
Whatever happened to the yo-yo?
No, the yo-yo floated, of course. It was all hollow, you know, hollow construction.
Did they ever put it in any museum afterward?
Yeah, it was then yo-yoed again on a crane on Van Ness Avenue, and was even on television.
So you had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we didn't make any money on it, but
When did you start? When did you come to Fremont and start your own business?
I was in Fremont all the time because one of my fellow workers in San Francisco, he moved to Fremont, and so we bought the first house here in Fremont at that time because his daughter had bought a house in 28 Palms subdivision. That was in 1961.
And so right after you came here,
Yeah.
you came to Fremont.
Yeah. Yeah, I was living in Oakland before, and I drove across the Bay Bridge all the time, and then we bought a house in 28 Palms, and
Did you know any English before you came to the States?
yeah, of course I knew some English. We learned some English in school in Germany. I was in a middle school there where we learned English.
How about your wife? Did she
And-
have it?
And she had English too, yeah, but she had some English knowledge too. But it wasn't much. I could mainly say, okay, black corners, or
With
1, 2, 3, or bear, black sheep.
Baba Black.
Jack and Jill went up the hill. I knew all this kind of stuff, you know. So
That was basically it.
yeah.
When did you open up your own business?
Oh, that was after 30 years working in San Francisco. I got tired of commuting from Fremont to San Francisco, and I had a showdown with my boss there. He didn't go with my ideas, so I said, okay, my own shop here in Fremont.
And did you
But
right away put it in that little store over on Osgood? Or?
yeah, and I was right away on Osgood Road. But I had an accident, fell off a ladder. The ladder slipped out from under me, you know, and broke my ankle. I'm laboring still with that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was looking at you. Because you've had problems with that ankle, but it's come back more
I had
severe.
a large job lined up at that time for an architect here in Fremont, and that barely got done. And then I fell back financially, and everything fell apart at
But you
the
never
time.
went out of business.
No, I just quit. Yeah, I never. I just sold all the machines, and then I quit
When you-
because I wasn't making enough money.
but that was more recent.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
long were you in business by yourself?
Oh, about 3 years or so.
Oh, is that all it was? 3
Yeah.
years? Oh.
3 or 4
realize.
years, I'm not sure.
I sort of thought you had been.
I have to backtrack this one time and write my own
Yeah,
history
well,
that way.
Yeah, no, it's, you know. Oh, for some reason I thought you'd been there for years.
No, no.
Then I didn't know you that well. So, so when you made the chess tables, were you in your own business? Or?
Yeah, that was when I was in my own business. Yeah, I was actually starting the business with the idea to make just chess tables.
Oh.
But the chess players were too cheap to buy them, so it wasn't possible.
Tom Dorsch bought one of yours, right?
Yeah, Tom Dorsch bought
Who else
one.
bought? Chris Mavridis?
Chris Mavridis, I think has one too. Yeah, Chris Mavridis. I don't know. I had about 4 or 5 that I made and sold, but I bought them to tournaments, but nobody wanted to buy them. I thought I could get it started, but it didn't want to go. So I had to go back to kitchen cabinets.
So you're a real cabinet maker. Yeah. You have grandchildren? How many?
I have 3 grandchildren, 3 grandsons.
All sons, no daughters?
No daughters,
No
no.
granddaughters. And any of them playing chess?
Not very good, no. They all play, but they don't play very good, and they're not really interested.
And where are they?
2 of them are in Salt Lake City, and one of them is still here in Fremont.
And your daughter is an architect? One of the
She studied architecture in Salt Lake City,
just like Elizabeth Shaughnessy.
but but she couldn't get a job there, so she had to go back to respiratory therapy.
Oh.
That she had learned that earlier, but she really didn't like to be involved with sick people all the time, so she tried to get out of this, but it's not easy as an older girl, you know.
Yeah. What about your other daughter?
Well, my my younger daughter, she works at as subcontractor for NASA, she works in the human relations department there.
Where? Located?
At Moffett Field.
Moffett Field.
Yeah.
And your wife worked for a while, I know, in Mervyn's. Did she work in?
Yeah, she worked before at Signetics.
Yes.
She tested circuits. She
Oh.
tested circuits at Signetics in Sunnyvale.
When was the last time you were back to Germany?
I think it was about 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Well, okay, let's go back. Let's go to the chess. Now that we got a little background, unless there's something you want to add about your background or family or whatever. What's the question? I think I don't know.
Not important.
Most important. When did you start studying chess? Formally?
I started studying chess when I had joined the police force in Berlin, and a buddy, we lived in the barracks at that time, and a buddy of mine said, well, you train your muscles when you run 100 meters, you have to train your brain if you want to get better at thinking. So I said, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I want to learn. So he was a good player, he was a club player there, and he beat me all the time. So I got to say, I take some lessons in Berlin in adult evening school from the German champion Rudolf Teschner. Okay,
How do you spell Kirshner?
Teschner, T-E-S-C-H-N-E-R.
Almost
Teschner.
like Kirshner, huh?
Yeah, Teschner. Rudolf.
Rudolph.
Yeah, he was German champion. He was champion of Berlin. He was club champion, and he introduced me to the Wilmersdorf Chess Club, and I went there twice a week if I could. And that got me started, and then it got me started into correspondence chess at that time, and I liked correspondence chess a lot too. Sending postcards to. First, I started within Germany, and then I went international, played against Russians and all kinds of other countries.
When did you get your chess master rating in correspondence chess?
I forgot when that was. I cannot.
Were you in this country? Or
Yeah, no, that I
You
was
here?
I was here already. Yeah, a long time. I played in the international cup tournament all the time, and then they started. They didn't have a rating at all at first. They played just in classes all the time in the Correspondence Chess Federation, and then they started the rating, and you had to always progress from one class to the other. So I progressed up to the master class, and I don't know when that was. It must have been about around 1970 or so. I don't know exactly.
When was your first over-the-board game? A formal rated game, playing against another opponent face to face.
Oh, I think that must have been when George Koltanowski had the Sonoma Chess Festival.
So it was here in the States, not in Germany.
Oh no, I had I had formal games at the club in Berlin. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
but
course.
not necessarily tournament kind of games.
Yeah, well, no, we had
They were
tournament
formal?
games in the
No.
club. Yeah, they were formal. We had to, in the club, we had a system where we played also in classes, and we tried to advance to the next class. But I never.
Did you ever play outside of Berlin in any tournaments in Germany then?
No, not at that time. No.
But just within the club.
Yeah.
And so so your first tournament in this country was basically at Sonoma at the
In the United States,
in
it
the
was.
States,
Yeah.
and George Koltanowski
Yeah.
had organized it. That was about when?
Mm,
Late 60s.
Yeah, that was. It could have been 1965 or something like that.
Mid 60s. And
I don't remember all the dates. I have to
no, within range. That's why I said it would be
dig this all up one time.
Yeah, sometimes. And when did you get involved or start the Fremont Chess Club?
That was right about the same time, or shortly afterwards. There was a fellow here from the Fremont Police Force, Bob Pellerin.
Pellerin was involved with
He wanted to make a chess club. He was the first how you say, the first guy who did something about it. And then I was there at the founding meeting right away, and we met at right close to Ohlone at the Fremont Arts Center at that time.
Oh, the Olive Life Center?
Yeah, the Olive, yeah, that's where our first meeting place was.
Interesting. Now, what about Pat Jackson?
Pat Jackson came in probably about 5 years later or so.
And
I don't know exactly when people joined there or so.
the club began to meet at the public library after that, or?
No, we met at Recreation Center, at the Fremont Recreation Center at the city,
Central Park?
Central Park, and I had tournaments there.
Yeah, when did you run you started running tournaments at the Fremont Club, and then you went beyond that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I always was involved in tournament directing, first at the club level, and then when I got involved with the USCF, I run national rated tournaments.
And you became a senior director, and
Yeah,
you still
yeah,
are
yeah.
a senior written test.
Yeah, well, yeah, they were easy, really.
They were
Not
easy.
not too much
Well,
problem.
pretty
there.
easy now with open book tests for the.
But they were open at that time
they
too.
were
Yeah,
open
yeah,
book.
yeah. I don't know when they came up with the closed book. That was something. I think they still have open.
Yeah,
Only-
I'm not sure.
Only if you want to be national.
Yeah, national.
Then you have to get.
Now,
in
with
the-
Cal Chess, when did you get involved with Cal Chess?
Uh,
Or the Northern.
well,
whatever it was called.
Cal just developed out of the situation where we had actually 3 different organizations in Northern California. There were the Chess Friends, taking the initiative to get out of Chess Friends, Chess Friends was Koltanovsky's organization, and Martin Morrison didn't like their apparatus, their way they run things in the top levels. And so he formed his own organization on the East Bay. And since I was in Fremont, of course I was forced to join them if you wanted to be connected to some organization. But when you played in some tournaments in the area, you had to practically belong sometimes to 3 organizations.
They wouldn't let you play unless you were a member of the
Yeah.
organization?
So you had to join 3 organizations sometimes in order to play in all tournaments, you know. But Martin Morrison was a great organizer. He had a good system going, and it worked for a while until he got elected to the United States Chess Federation to be their executive director. At that time, our organization sort of fell apart here in Northern California. The card chess.
You have a general idea about what year that was? Early 70s?
See, that is all very vague.
I know. I mean, my memory's the same. You know that. So that's why I said, "Do you?" by any chance? But, yeah.
I don't remember exactly. I can look everything up by knowing when Martin Morrison was executive director. I can look up chess lives from way back.
You have them all?
I have them all, yeah.
Wow.
And I could look it up and see when Martin Morrison was, but I never have time.
Well, that's why we're doing this now, so maybe it'll force you to do some of that research and we'll get some dates on these.
I have to do some more important things first.
Yeah. Build something else around your house or whatever.
Yeah.
And teach chess for success, Jeff.
I need to make some money. That's the main thing right now.
Well, coming back, I guess, with this chess teaching anyway. You're going to do some tutoring? I'm off the subject.
No, I don't have much luck in tutoring. No.
Well, let's go back to the beginnings of the Northern California Chess Association. At that time, you were talking about the 3 organizations. There was, under the United States Chess Federation, only one state, California. What can you tell us about how the states were split into, or California was split into 2 states?
Well, the Chess Friends sort of went out of business, and the California Chess Association, the total California Chess Association, was still in business, but they didn't do much. They did 1 tournament a year or so. They didn't function right. And the Northern California Chess Association, which was Martin Morris's organization, still existed with breaks and handicaps, you know. I was convinced that we could do better if we would not have the central, so we don't have to join too many organizations. We never cooperated with the Southern California Chess Association too much. They had their own organization, we had our own, and then there was the total. But the total really didn't work, so we really needed to have our own organization here. And that's why when I went to the USCF delegates meetings, I got together with Richard Fauber, and we sort of organized it that we could split the state into 2 organizations. We gathered some friends from some eastern associations where we could push it through. We really engineered that so that we can
have 2 separate states.
Have 2 separate states. And I think that it was a good decision. That was it's working fine, and I think that the whole California state should split up into at the same time. The whole Schwarzenegger should be cut in half.
Oh, you mean the state itself? We should have. Some people have said we should have 3 separate states.
Yeah, well, I would be satisfied with 2.
The blue state and the red state.
Yeah.
The California Chess Journal, as we call it now,
Uh-huh.
you were responsible for creating the first newsletters and...
No, newsletters. I created the California Chess Journal, and at that time we had problems in the association. We didn't have any income, and we didn't have any membership. Nobody wanted to support us, so I decided, well, we needed something, and so I took it upon myself to create the Chess Journal as a subscription, on a subscription basis. And that came out every month at that time.
Every month.
And I was working in San Francisco as a cabinet maker, so it was not easy to get this thing out on time all the time, and it didn't make any money either, so it wasn't really worth doing. And so I had to find some way of converting it, and Peter Yu took it over. From Peter Yu, he was at Berkeley at that time. He took it over, and at that time we found a way of, for some reason we got rid of the subscription thing there. At that time I think USCF gave state organizations some money all the time, and we could use that money to produce the magazine. So we sort of got out of the subscription. Tom Dorsch made it into a different type of organization where you had to play in the tournaments to get discounts. You know,
You would get discounts if you were a member of Cal Chess.
yeah, you were, and so you were sort of forced to join in order to save money the other way. But it made some money for the organization, and so we could stay over water that way.
And Tom and Carolyn, it was about...
Yeah, Tom and Carolyn took over the magazine, and there was some...
And then Jim Eade followed through.
Jim Eade was one of them, yeah.
And then Alan Fifield.
Yeah.
And they made a sort of a glossy, fancy copy.
Yeah.
Were you in the early years charging membership in the Northern California Chess Association?
Oh yes, we did.
The magazine was a separate subscription? They had to pay separate for it?
No. The first, when Martin Morrison first made up the Northern California State Association, we had a special membership that was collected at the chess club level. And the chess clubs had to send in their membership lists with the money.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then they got a certain amount of magazines back from Martin Morrison. He published the first, it was Skakik Voice at that time, and he published the magazine, and we got, but that was a relatively good organization too, to have it on the club level to collect it. You had to, on the club level we had memberships, and then we sent in the money for them. Okay.
Were there a lot of clubs in the area?
There were more clubs than now, yeah. We had Hayward Chess Club, Fremont Chess Club, Newark Chess Club, San Leandro Chess Club, Oakland Chess Club, Berkeley Chess Club, and we had leagues and all this and everything, yeah.
And, well, just to sidelight here, from my perspective, of course, my knowledge, I know about Ray Orwig, and I know that in the early 80s, although I wasn't here or involved, that he was, working with the Scholastic Chess as, a liaison with the Scholastic Chess community. But was there somebody who worked with Scholastic Chess that you can remember before Ray?
No, we did not concentrate on Scholastic Chess at all, because we had the chess clubs and there was no need. Ray Orwig sort of broke off with the Northern California Chess and did his own thing by creating the Scholastic thing there. And he didn't really want to have anything to do with the Northern California Chess Association.
You held every office in the Northern California Chess Association?
Well, I was treasurer, I was president, vice president, I think.
Secretary?
Secretary too, yeah, I guess, yeah.
I think that's all there's ever been.
But that was all at a time when really nobody wanted to run or anything like
I'm not sure
this.
anybody wants to run now, but that's beside the
Well, but that time you didn't have to run. You just went to the meeting and that's it. You got the job because nobody wanted to do it.
Which of those 4 jobs did you like best?
I didn't like any of them.
Good answer.
I didn't like any of them. It's just that I contributed to keep the organization alive because somebody had to do it.
And I understand that presently you are not a member of CalChess.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you like to give us a little
I know that's
information on
what you really like to know, but politics entered the situation, and politics in that situation made me choose, like, between 2 friends. And one of the friends had to be an enemy after that. So I had to choose, and that was...
Why did you leave? In other words, I'm still a member of CalChess.
Yeah, well, I just feel that when somebody stabs you in the back, like the people in charge were doing at that time. See, they just stabbed me in the back there. And I think that with all my investment in chess before, I deserved not to be stabbed in the back. Okay.
So it hurt you.
It hurt me, and that's why I quit.
Let's talk about some of the chess specifically. You're known for using the orangutan opening.
Exactly. I'm supposed to be known as the F pawn in B4 section.
What do you play for black?
I think that E5 is the strongest reply. E5 is the strongest reply. But B4 is really not a sound move. So you find many other strong replies that you can play against it. And that's why I like to get away from it right now, and I especially don't want to teach it to the kids in the school anymore.
You've played it, though, across the board as well as in correspondence chess.
Yeah, I played in thematic tournaments, in fact, where everybody had to play it.
When did you start playing?
In Berlin already,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in Berlin, in the chess club Wilmersdorf.
What's your favorite chess book? I know you carry around this one in German all the time. Is that?
Yeah, this is Rudolf Teschner's Learn Chess in 40 Hours. Okay, that is a favorite book that I use sometimes. It teaches everything, even how to mate with the bishop and the knight. It has a section in there.
And what book would you recommend for children? Obviously can't recommend that since it's in German.
I go by Henry's suggestions, usually Henry Winard's suggestion, but I think I like the books that give you all the mating positions. They're different, that have different names. I like this the best. I developed a system where I teach this all the time now, all the different mates. I think it's very important for the kids to know what to shoot for. So there is a my memory is so bad. I don't know. I think out by Pandolfini, the Tricks and Treats, those are nice chess books to study. And
who's your favorite chess player historically? Not necessarily now, but in the past.
I admire Kirshner at the moment.
Because he's over 70,
he proves that you can play with any age. But I did not really have any real favorites. I did not really like Bobby Fischer very much.
Even in '72.
Even when he was becoming world champion, then he made up all these demands, and I really was against his demands. I think he should have just kept it even there. He would have gone far if he would have. He could have stuck it out. But that's why I didn't like his behavior at that time. I was even interviewed by newspaper guys at that time, and I told them, I said, I would complain to my chess federation what he's doing there, about what he's doing. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite chess game that's been played? Not necessarily your own, but any others?
No, I don't really have any favorite.
You have a favorite?
Every chess game that comes up is new to me, because I forget easy the
other ones.
The other ones.
Did you ever do any memorization of games?
Not really. I memorized things because I was playing correspondence chess. At that time, I had to look up positions and stuff for applying to correspondence chess, and that made me remember certain variations. And when I was playing active tournament play at that time, I remembered certain things that I was playing over correspondence games, But with the occupation and everything, it just was too much to remember everything all the time.
Do you have a favorite game that you played at some point that you've annotated or whatever?
No.
No, I'm just.
I was. Somebody else was annotating games of me when they won against me.
Well, that's a nice compliment. At least they didn't annotate when they lost.
When I published the chess journal, I tried not to annotate my own games. I always tried to get other help from stronger players. Yeah.
Well, I think I've run out of questions, Hans. Of course, that's always difficult to hear me stop. But do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I would like to add that I am also disappointed with the Cal Chess organization insofar that nobody agrees with my chess philosophy as far as the USCF organization is concerned. That's one of my major reasons I would like to stick to it at USCF, on USCF level, to change their philosophy of, I would like to see them make their magazine a subscription article, and I would like to see getting not involved in any book and equipment sales at all. They should not be involved in that, and I would like to make them just a rating organization and support organization for the masters and the scholastic players, whatever. But national support organization, but not be involved in all that sidetracking stuff. That just dilutes the actual goal of the organization.
Well, I understand your feeling about the USCF, but what's that got to do with Cal Chess?
The Cal Chess officers never supported my ideas. I submitted an ADM, Advanced Delegates Motion, at one of the meetings, and I expected that somebody, Tom Dorsch was there, and there were others there, that they would support me there. but nobody did. And that's that's another reason I don't want to get involved with characters anymore. That's the second reason, but that's a minor reason. It's not really major.
Did they not support you because they disagreed with you, or were they playing politics within CalChess, or you don't know?
No, I think they are just stuck on the old model, and they don't see what I think I see. I think I see further ahead than they do. That's my opinion. Now, they are not on that. I mean, they deal with the present all the time only. They don't see further ahead, and that's what makes me mad.
Well, I mean, it probably raises a good question to end on. What do you see as the future of chess for you and also for the United States, the U.S. Chess Federation?
I think as long as people have fun doing it, it will continue. If people lose that part of the game, the fun of it, then it will die. Then the computer will, like Spassky says, we should get a divorce from the computer chess. That's what Spassky. I agree with that. So when you, there are two departments. You have to get a divorce. You have to say, this is fun chess. This is computer chess. I'm in favor of both, but in order to play chess for fun, you have to divorce the computer.
And you are still playing correspondence chess now?
Yeah, I play correspondence chess, overruling the computer.
How many computers do you have when you play correspondence chess?
2.
2? Have you updated it again, or are you still working with a 3-month-old computer?
No.
I'm sorry.
I haven't. I should get a faster one pretty soon. But Shredder is the best program to use at the moment. Shredder 9.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Hans.
Okay.
We got it on tape. We got it on tape now. Now we can sometime force you to change some of the dates or get some of the dates. Thanks.